Estranged is a Meng Shishi novel. This is an audiobook made by fans for other fans. Disclaimer: the main couple of the story is made up of two men. If you don't like it, don't listen. Thank you. Remember, subscribe and click the bell to stay updated on all the new releases. Enjoy. Chapter 7. He had 4 disciples, but not one of them was easy to deal with. Changming never thought that someone would offer him a pillow when he started feeling sleepy. If a person wants to practice the anew scripture, he must have something to absorb spiritual powers from, either a cultivator, or a spiritual being with abundant spiritual powers, or a blessed land where the essence of the sun and the moon gather, or a spiritual weapon that has already gained consciousness, and so on. A blessed land is hard to find as all famous mountains and rivers with spiritual powers are already taken. The ones still available are either steep and dangerous places full of evil spirits, or already drained lands, and it is too hard to find even their traces. One can only rely on his luck when looking for them. As for spiritual weapons, Changming knew one thing for sure. Back then, he never left his sword Sifei. The Sifei sword went through fire and water for him. It was full of spiritual qi, had gained consciousness long ago, and was always connected with Changming's heart. Later, when Changming had an incident and fell into the Yellow Springs, the Sifei sword disappeared, and he couldn't remember where it was now. It was most likely with Yun Wisai. It was also possible that Zhou Qi had it, because he often used dishonest practices in cultivation. This sword had been infused with spiritual powers for many years, and its spiritual power was not inferior to that of a master. It could have easily become a coveted object for demonic cultivators. There was also his 4th disciple, Songnanyan. After he had gained fame and fortune, he developed a new habit of collecting treasures and antiques, even spiritual weapons and techniques. For this reason he befriended all kinds of people. The year people heard of Changming's death, Songnanyan might have managed to lay his hands on his sword after an unexpected turn of events. And his 2nd disciple, it's best not to mention him. In conclusion, the Sifei sword could assist him in cultivation, but because its whereabouts were unknown, Changming was afraid he would have to visit all his disciples one by one to find it. Earlier he chose to stay at the Ch07 sect to look for a chance to join the Jiangxia clan to wait for an opportunity to find the sword there. Who would have expected that now, after he had been framed for killing a person and all these unexpected events had occurred, Su Jingxian would be willing to take him to Zhou Qi? Wasn't this giving a pillow to a person falling asleep? The only problem was that his 3rd disciple was not easy to deal with. Frankly, not a single one of his 4 disciples was easy to deal with. Su Jingxian noticed that he was silent and thought that he was frightened. She couldn't help but smile proudly and tried to reach Changming's face with her hand. "You've also heard about my sect master's high reputation? Don't worry, I can put in a good word for you. Not only will you not suffer without need, but you will even be put in an important position. Who knows, maybe I will even be looking for your support in the future." Changming smiled and took a step back to avoid her hand. "I would have already been indebted forever if this lady allowed me to leave this place and stay by her side as a cook, let alone go to her honorable sect master." Su Jingxian pouted, "Enough with this lady talk. This Xian character is a part of my name. People would think you gave me a diminutive name. I am Su Jingxian, you should call me Miss Xian." "Changming, Lady Su, this cultivation furnace thing sounds a bit odd. Why does it not seem like a decent job for an attendant?" "Su Jingxian, it couldn't be more decent. Look at how beautiful I am. Do I seem like someone who deceives people?" Changming hesitated. "Can I say you do?" "No. Su Jingxian didn't touch him, withdrew her hand back, but suddenly changed her movement halfway, pinched his chin and moved her hand away, perfectly satisfied. He has lived for so many years and has seen so many various aspects of the world, but this was the first time he encountered such aggressive molesting. His reactions were not as good as they were before, so he couldn't avoid it and was taken advantage of. If this happened in the past, the molester would have been killed 8 or 10 times. For a short time, Chang Ming was left speechless. Su Jingxian even laughed, "Ming Lang, if the sect master doesn't take you, you should follow me." Chang Ming thought he would be left in the prison for a few days and didn't expect Su Jingxian to act quickly, but the next day people from the Ch07 sect brought him to Su Jingxian. Sect master Zhang Qin was also there. When he was looking at Chang Ming, his gaze was full of loathing, unwillingness to accept the truth, melancholy and other feelings all at the same time, as if Chang Ming had stolen his wife. Zhang Qin was reluctant to let him go, but under the pressure of Su Jingxian and the Jiangxia clan, he had no other options. Lu Ziyu was already dead, and the Ch07 sect couldn't afford to lose another talented disciple, and a randomly chosen disciple with mediocre qualifications wouldn't have satisfied the Jiangxia clan. Su Jingxian said that she intended to leave, and she really meant it. She pulled Chang Ming closer by his sleeve and laughed, "Sect Master Zhang knows where his loyalty belongs. I will report it to my clan master and mention your hard work." "Wait a moment." Zhang Qin noticed that she took out the golden bell and quickly shouted, "Daisu, we have discussed it previously, and you agreed to assist us in finding Ziyu's murderer. Don't worry, Sect Master Zhang. As soon as I return to my sect and report to the clan master, I will ask him to dispatch someone to help you with the investigation. They will definitely find the truth for you." Somehow, Chang Ming felt this sentence was said in a half-hearted way. Before she even finished speaking, Su Jingxian rang the golden bell in her hand. A sound hit their eardrums, making everyone dizzy. The golden bell shone with boundless radiance that hurt their eyes, making them unable to refrain from closing their eyes. Zhang Qin and Su Jingxian's voices gradually became quieter. When Chang Ming opened his eyes again, it wasn't the Ch07 sect in front of him, but a round white marble platform and a crowd of delicate and graceful maidens in pale mauve clothes. "Peak Master, welcome back." Su Jingxian saw that he was looking at the golden bell in her hand rather than the beautiful maidens, and said proudly, "This is my spiritual treasure used for teleportation, it is called the Yulin Bell. There are only 3 such spiritual treasures in the world, and even famous sects and big clans like the Kunlunjian sect want to have a treasure for teleportation like this one." Chang Ming praised sincerely, "It really is a good thing." Su Jingxian was in a good mood. She walked towards a maidservant to order someone to arrange a room for Chang Ming, but when she decided to take a good rest and continue working after that, she saw her favorite female disciple hurriedly step forward with a worried expression. Su Jingxian couldn't help but stop. Has something happened? Is this shameless Xiangji Peak picking a quarrel again? Peak Master, the clan master has come out from his seclusion, and he is in a terrible mood. He asked why you have already returned but still haven't brought him the person several times, said the maidservant in a low voice. She glanced at Chang Ming, "Is he the person you have to offer to the clan master?" Su Jingxian didn't want to hand Chang Ming over so fast. She found him very interesting, moreover, he was full of mysteries. All this time she believed that those paper foxes were his creation, it's just that he stubbornly refused to admit it. Su Jingxian didn't manage to find evidence in that short period of time, and wanted to get more secrets out of him before handing him over to the clan master. Who knew the clan master would come out of his retreat so suddenly? there was certainly an issue in his cultivation. He failed to break through to the next level and urgently needed a furnace to absorb qi. Su Jingxian felt some regret but didn't express it, only showing Chang Ming a smile. "Come on, let's go see the clan master. You are very lucky to meet our honorable elder." Chang Ming lowered his head to see the Mingmen on his wrist completely sealed. "If Lady Su didn't act this way, I would believe your words." Su Jingxian grinned, "I'm just afraid that the clan master is so handsome you will have your head turned because of him, so I am supporting you before you've lost yourself." This time she didn't use the Yulin Bell to teleport but modestly took a palanquin with Chang Ming. First, she ordered servants to take them down the mountain, where they changed their palanquin to go to another peak. Then, when they were carried halfway up the mountain, she changed the palanquin again to reach the top. Seeing her arrangements, Chang Ming could tell that Su Jingxian really didn't want to meet Zhou Qi. Even though she never showed it on her face. "Lady Su is so talented, why do you agree to obey your clan master instead of establishing a new clan like the Ch07 sect?" Chang Ming asked. Su Jingxian sneered, "Do you really think it's better to live like people from the Ch07 sect than like me? Even if Zhang Qin resents the idea to the core, he still has to give me the person I ask for. Isn't this one example enough for you?" Chang Ming said, "Although he is just a vassal, the mountain is high, the emperor far away. He doesn't feel the uneasiness of a person who is right in front of his lord's eyes." Su Jingxian, who was touched in a raw spot, fell silent for a moment, but then retorted, refusing to admit defeat, "When the clan master calls for me, of course I come immediately. He is a master of great skills, and I admire him with all my heart." "If you really admire him with all your heart, why do you hesitate?" Chang Ming didn't expose her lies and started asking about the local customs and practices. Su Jingxian was eager to answer. She has always been responsible for bringing furnaces to Zhou Qi, but Chang Ming was different from the rest. Maybe she felt this way because Chang Ming was to her taste, or maybe because he didn't wail and weep in terrified confusion like the other prey. There are 9 peaks and 13 valleys in the Jiangxia clan altogether. 6 peaks surround the Longding Peak, where the clan head lives. I live on the Lingbo Peak. Don't forget to visit me there in your free time. After I have met the clan head, will there actually be a day I might visit you?" Su Jingxian winked, "If you behave yourself and win over his affection, then who knows, maybe he will even teach you some secret techniques. Even if you have no trace of spiritual powers in your meridians and no foundation, the clan master can help you turn into a high-level cultivator in one go. Look at how the Ch07 sect treated you, sending you right to the prison and making no distinction between the right and the wrong. If you decide to settle the score, I will give you my full support." This woman was eager to watch a bustling scene and enjoyed stirring up troubles. She was obviously cold-blooded, but demonstrated an enthusiastic behavior. That wasn't too strange, since she could remain Zhou Qi's subordinate. Chatting all the way, they arrived at the top of the mountain. Chang Ming raised his eyes and saw 2 words, Longdong Peak. This familiar handwriting reminded him of the past. When Chang Ming had just accepted Zhou Qi into his sect, the boy was still illiterate. Every day Zhou Qi practiced calligraphy by copying his letters, and his handwriting became almost impeccable. At that time Zhou Qi was only a gloomy child with low self-esteem, not as imposing as Su Jingxian described him to be, not the terrifying Jiangxia clan master who could do whatever he wanted with the Ch07 sect. Indeed, one day in heaven equals 1,000 years on earth, and his most unpromising third disciple grew up so capable in the blink of an eye. A disciple came closer to Su Jingxian at the gates and saluted her first. His attitude was remarkably polite, especially compared to what he showed towards some middle-aged cultivators who were shouted at and driven out, and could only run away in tears. Su Jingxian was clearly worth more in the clan master's eyes. Peak Master Su is faring well, you returned from the Ch07 sect so fast. Su Jingxian softly smiled, of course, the clan master needs a man, so I rushed back to bring him one. The other person sized Chang Ming up, is he that genius disciple Lu Ziyu from the Ch07 sect? Su Jingxian said, Lu Ziyu died, this person is the one suspected of the murder. The disciple showed a bewildered expression, not understanding Su Jingxian's thoughts. Peak Master Su, this. Do you intend to ask the clan master to solve this case? Su Jingxian, how could I? After Lu Ziyu's death, there is no one in the Ch07 sect, no one but a bunch of ugly crooked melons and split date trees, unlike this suspect. Although he has no cultivation, his looks are pretty good. Even if he can't be used as a human vessel, he can still satisfy the clan head's rage, right? The other person forced a smile, good sister, the clan master has had troubles in his retreat, he is in urgent need of a human vessel, he is on a rampage now. He has just killed several people and sucked their chi, but it is still not enough. Why send him a person without spiritual powers? I can't help you with it, you will go and explain it to him yourself. Su Jingxian's expression changed a bit, but then she suddenly smiled, if the clan master is so angry now, I won't pay my respects right away. I will return when the honorable elder calms down. Please help me send this person to the clan master, this sister will remember you well and welcome you at her Lingbo peak. After she finished speaking, she gave an alluring smile to the disciple and rang the golden bell in her hand. She escaped without leaving a trace, and there was no time for anyone to stop her. Changming and the gate disciple, who were left alone, looked at each other in blank dismay. The disciple said, it's a shame. You really have bad luck. Peak Lord Su ran away, and the clan master will definitely take his rage out on you. Follow me. Although he expressed his pity towards Changming, he had no intentions of showing mercy. He firmly grasped his arm, not giving him a single chance to escape. If Changming started screaming at this moment, this disciple would have muted him with a talisman. But not only did Changming not shout, he even showed an amused expression. This one has no idea of death and danger, I'm afraid he knows nothing about demonic cultivators of this world, the disciple thought. The clan master's temper is not so good, wait a bit and start kissing up to him. Behave yourself submissively. Who knows, maybe you can save your life. The disciple saw that he was quite cooperative, so he gave Changming a warning. Changming said, I've been admiring the clan master for a long time, I can't wait to meet him in person. The disciple understood, this one is sick in his head, of course he is seeking death. He already started betting on how soon this person's remnants will be sent out, and how much of his body will be left. End of the chapter. Stay tuned for more BL.